Hi, I'm Caprice Perucci and welcome to my studio. My studio is in my backyard at home, and I commute out here every day. I have a large studio here, which is where I do most of the wood construction, and then a smaller studio over here where we do finishing, painting, so it's either hand sanding and then we switch out to paint. And so come on in and look around. So I love my studio. When I built it, I wanted a big 14-foot wall so I could put pieces up before I take them out and hang them. I make templates for these pieces, so that was really crucial. In the morning, I get beautiful morning light that comes in here, and I love that. And these are some of my more recent works. As you can see, I love progressive rhythms. I am inspired by natural forms, natural growth patterns, the way things evolve over time, calcite and cave formations. One of the most inspiring images I ever saw was where water dripped and eroded away a rock over thousands of years, and the edges it creates. I also find inspiration in man-made objects as well, like refrigerator grates and anything with repetition of form or something that's been worn away over time. I work mostly with pine, although sometimes I'll use Douglas fir or birch plywood, and I've used some poplar, but mostly pine. I'm a self-taught woodworker. I was always more after the form and not thinking this is a fine wood piece. It was just I worked with wood, and that was the medium that was most malleable to my ideas. So I work in series, and no two are ever alike. You couldn't possibly make them alike. I don't plan out patterns for these. I just start. So I start, kind of know what I'm doing, and then just keep going. So you have to start to actually visually see it. So it's a very organic process. This is one series, which is Cascade series is what I call it, and I've done a bunch of these. They're all different. Some have different ends. This has kind of loops on the ends. Some of them are really loopy on the ends. Some of them are more straight. I do a lot of commission work, and when I do commissions, I always like to find something new or different to do in that piece to keep it interesting for me. Also been working the last couple years with these vessel forms. They're a lot of fun to make. They're like big puzzles and how they go together. You start in the center, you work out. The vessel form for me is a feminine form, and I used to work a lot with vessels and cocoons and imagery like that I feel like has a real primal message to it. My latest too is doing these kind of pieces that roll, and they kind of roll, and I have another piece that's going to be the main piece in my show at Davis Gallery this fall, which is called Full Circle, and it rolls at the top and then at the bottom. So trying to get that action of movement, or the look that this has been, just flowing or eroded over time. I use, some of them I do natural, like this small cycle here is just a urethane on the pine, and then some of them I like to add color. I do a color wash so that we can see the grain, and then I do urethane over that. We're always playing with different finishes. I've been doing a matte finish on some, which I really like. Yeah, I'm still, as any wood person will tell you, you're always learning. So I just keep pushing it. We also really pushing the craftsmanship. People pay money for pieces. They don't want to see tool marks or drips or whatever. So you wanted to know a little bit about the history, and fortunately I was just getting ready to have this show at Davis. It was canceled, now it's lined up for the fall, but it was going to be a survey of the last my last 40 years, and I've been with Davis Gallery for 25 years. So I thought it was time to dust off the old work, clean it up, show it, and also to give myself a deadline to make a catalog. The catalog is coming out, and it'll be available on my website for $25. So anyway, let's start at the beginning. I was making little spikes. Also my background was my mom. My mom was a weaver, and she was, I was always, and my dad was an architect, so we were always doing things and getting into things, and I rebelled for most of high school, the early parts of college, and just wanted to be preppy and normal, and then kind of came back to it, because when I went to college, I missed working with my hands. So I went back to Carnegie Mellon University, and this is, I started making spikes, and it was, I think I was angry at someone and feeling pain, and that was like the literal expression of it. But that got me to working with the wood, and when I moved here to Austin, I didn't have anything, but I got a handheld little jigsaw and a little belt sander and started making the forms. And so this is kind of what I was making when I went to graduate school. This is the body of work I submitted, and I went to school of visual arts in New York so that I could secure a teaching job when I got back. That would be impressive, but no one was really impressed. But anyway, so at graduate school, I met Ursula von Radinsberg as my teacher, and she suggested certain tools to me. And you can see how the work changed, where I'm kind of faking this, where I could do this with the sanders, and it just opened up all this energy to, go in there and make it very anthropomorphic and very organic. And this is the process I've just come to love. For a while, I was covering this is wood underneath here, and I was covering the wood armatures with different materials. Some were translucent, some of this has cloth and string, some tree bark. I would just do layers, and I would keep doing layers until I liked the way it looked. And I was very into edges pulling and parsing away from each other. There's a lot of wing forms at this time. I said cocoon forms before, but there was very kind of these shell forms. They were very natural forms. And people always ask about the process. People are like, how did you do that? And as I said, I came at it backwards, so I made up the process myself. It's additive and subtractive at the same time. So it's cut out of flat wood, but then it's glued and it's laminated, glued, clamps. I love my clamps. I have a ton of clamps. And then I'll leave places where I'm not going to cut away, but then I'll get on my my bandsaw, very carefully cut away, and then I grind with an angle grinder. And so some pieces like this little piece has already been sanded, so I'll leave the milled edges, I'll make attachments. This is already sanded, and then I'll start adding parts on. So it's really additive, subtractive, kind of back and forth. I love it. It's like it said, like a giant puzzle. So this piece, is going to move on. If I have a little piece like this, it's going to get added on. I make a little handle so I don't get my fingers too close to the blade. So anyway, that's in a nutshell. That is what I do. It's just made me clean up my studio. So thank you. Bye.